Good morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. This Saturday morning, guys. What are you doing this Saturday morning? What's going on this Saturday, guys? Look, it's been a long time since it's been a long time since I sat down and watched Saturday television. You know what I mean? I remember when I was younger, I used to grow up and watch all the TV channels or in the morning programs on a Saturday and stuff. But guys, mumbling on. Let's look. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. You're absolutely legendary people, guys. It is international weekend, so it's boring. And you know what? Man United have got a little bit silent. I mean, maybe that's a good thing in a way, isn't it, at the end of the day? But not completely silent. Manchester United, there has been rumblings about what's going to happen in January. Now, before the window closed, we were talking about this. We were saying that you wait until the window closes. We're going to get all those rumblings about what Man United are going to do in January. Now, two things that Manchester United are looking to do. Maybe one thing. Now, one of the things is Conor Gallagher on loan. The other thing is a permanent deal for Hjulmand. Hjulmand is a former Ruben Amorim player, of course, of Sporting Lisbon. Manchester United admire heavily. Manchester United almost, apparently, according to rumours, captured the signature of Hjulmand during the transfer window. It didn't happen, though, and that's all a bunch of hearsay. But Manchester United are either looking for a loan deal for Gallagher or a permanent deal for Hjulmand in January, guys. So if they can't get Hjulmand, they will get a Gallagher on loan. Now, I don't understand why this deal wasn't done a long time ago during the transfer window, because we need it now, to be honest with you. And I agree with everyone in the stream, and I agree with everyone who's going to make the same comments. And I agree with them that, you know what, this January, and let's wait and see. And at the end of the day, it can be spin as well. I mean, they're not no strangers to spin at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And we'd have to wait and see what happens. I believe it when I see it. Of course, I do believe Man United will make a move in January, but what that move is, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, in regards to, could it be just a young player like Dorgu? Could it be a Hjulmand? Or could it be a Gallagher? Now, in regards to what I believe, what I think, I firmly believe that Ineos and the Glazers don't like spending in January. Don't like spending any time, but they don't like spending in January because of the financial year and etc. So they wait until the next year, fiscal year, if you know what I mean, so that, you know what, that money that they spend is going to be in this year, isn't it? So if they spend money this year, it's going to be in this year rather than tooping it over to next year. Of course, sounding like a proper finance expert at the moment, ain't I? Finance expert. I mean, as Manchester United fans these days, we do have to be like, accountants. We have to be lawyers. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to become a Man United fan, make sure you got a lawyer's degree. Make sure you're an accountant. Make sure you've got, absolutely a media degree as well. You know what I mean? Because all of them are journalists as well, apparently, and stuff like that. But guys, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's blessed this Saturday morning. Hope everyone is good, of course, guys. Pick up Ellen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. Morning, Sal, bro. Let's see what happens in January. Absolutely be good to sign a midfielder, but I don't see us doing much. I don't see us doing much in January either. It's not only about not seeing, it's about not trusting them to do anything. During the last January transfer window, they did say that we're going to absolutely bloody blow the doors off. That's what they said in the summer window, and they really haven't blown the doors off. They fixed a couple of parts of the car, but they haven't blown the doors off. I mean, definitely not. But what I would say is that we've heard it all before. And Man United fans, we've got an element of PTSD as well. We have to be doctors as well, guys. Psychiatrists as well, by the way. Not only journalists and stuff like media and journalists and stuff like that, but also psychiatrists. But what I envision is that Man United will basically give us a load of talk, give us a load of nonsense, I would say, but I wouldn't completely rule it out, to be honest with you. I wouldn't completely say, nah, they're not going to do nothing, just forget about it. Let's wait and see, as you say there. Big up Daryl, by the way. But let's wait and see what happens there. It does depend what happens in this season. If Ruben Amorim's struggling, and then we're going to be saying that, well, we need a midfielder. We got injuries or something. God forbid. God forbid. Let me touch Alex Ferguson on the book. There you go. Look, God forbid we get injuries and stuff like that, because you know what? Our squad is very, very small. So we can't afford any more injuries. Guys, a little bit of good news. Benjamin Sesko made an assist in Slovenia 2-2 draw with Sweden last night. Of course, if you want to know about the international football, he had a decent game. Didn't get rated high, but he had a decent game. And what's good about this international break is that he can go to his country and he can get fit and he can get match fitness and he can get a little bit of confidence up. So he made an assist apparently, so that is not a bad thing. So well played, Mr. Benjamin Sesko, of course. A 2-2 draw, no mean feat against Sweden, of course. Morning, Angerman. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you, my guy. I hope you're doing blessed. I hope everything is good for you this Saturday morning. What I would say about this Saturday morning, guys, it is a little bit of a therapy session, to be honest with you. It is a therapy session. It is a little bit of a relaxation because we haven't got Man United playing today, so we ain't got our blood pressures and stuff like that all on. But yeah, look, at the same time, I do miss football. I do miss Man United when we don't play because this international break does become a little bit boring sometimes, doesn't it? We do get a little bit, you know what I mean? It does get a little bit crazy, doesn't it? Morning, UK Rap. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. Big up, Red Fred 77. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course, guys, sorry I wasn't around last night. I was had to go somewhere, so traveling around and stuff like that. So, but I'm back. Back. And guys, yeah, thank you so much for your messages and for support and stuff like that. Really, really appreciate it. Big up Red Fred 55. Big up Sanjay. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up Helge. What's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you again, Ledger. Big up to see you. Nice to see you too, my friend. Hope you're doing well. I've been in Central Romania. Goodness, in Transylvania, shooting a music video for my album. So I haven't got up to speed. What's been going on? Big up. Nothing much, man. Nothing, bruv. It's International Week at the end of the day. Hope your music video shoot went well. I don't know who you were playing. Probably Count Dracula. I don't know, mate. But definitely, if it is Count Dracula, you should have gave Jim Ratcliffe a call because he likes sucking blood out of things. So, but at the end of the day, what I would say is that, yeah, congratulations on your music video, guys. Where's the most, that's a weird place to shoot a music video. Where's the most weirdest place I've shot a music video? I don't know. Detroit. Oh, that was crazy. Helge again. Yeah, there you go. Our Dracula there, the Nana who is afraid of crosses. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. Good morning, Sal. Is it true Anana is third choice? At the moment, what I would say, Ephraim, I wouldn't even say third choice. I would say fourth choice, guys. So we got Lamens, we got Bayinde, we got Heaton, and then we got Anana. In my personal opinion, that's how the order should be, guys. Lamens, Bayinde, Heaton and Anana. That is what it should be. Nothing else, nothing less. That's what it should be at the end of the day. I do think Anana needs to leave the football club. I really do. If for his own good, he needs to leave the football club, guys. And Bremo played very well for Cameroon, by the way. The day before yesterday, had a great assist as well. Great cross into the box, and that's what I like to see. There's nothing that beats a nice, lovely, juicy cross into the box, is there? Because at the end of the day, we need it because we need goals. Big up, Ricardo. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. More than 1 million refused offers this window, similar to the Gukeri situation. Agreement with president only leaves at the end of the season. Let's wait and see, Ricardo Diaz. We don't know that. You did say that about Gyökeres and he left. Of course, so there we go. Sal, do you think there's no reason for him to stay at Sporting Lisbon? Sal, do you think the board will give Amorim a new contract? I wouldn't say that until the end of next season and end of the season. It's too early to say. Big up Ephraim, by the way, but it is too early to say what's going to happen until the end of the season, because I don't think they're going to sack him mid-season. I hope they don't sack him. I hope he stays for a very long time. But I don't think we can judge it right now after a few games. I really don't. I mean, I'm firmly behind Ruben Amorim. I hope he does well. And that's the most important thing for me. That's all I care about is Ruben Amorim doing well right here, right now. Getting a result against Man City is all I'm caring about right here, right now. And that's all I'm thinking about is that Man City game. And hopefully it goes well. I don't want any more sackings. I don't want any more toxicity within the fan base and arguments and stuff like that, bringing in another manager and stuff like that. I don't want any more of that, to be honest with you. And I hope he does well and I hope he succeeds. Absolutely. Big up Neil Gunnar, big up my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. Hope you're having a good Saturday. 15 likes, guys. 50 likes minimum by the end of the show, guys. Let's not forget, it has to be 15 likes by the end of the show. 50 likes by the end of the show, guys. Absolutely. Big up. Absolutely. Big up Sanjay. Thank you so much for that. Held, at least the national team is playing Sesko. I know. Yeah, look, look, at the end of the day, look, you know what? We do need to play Sesko. We might have to play him against Man City, considering that Mason Mount is injured and Cunha's injured. We might have to shuffle that around a little bit. It might be a blessing in disguise. Who knows? But I would have liked Cunha to play. I think Cunha's done very well since he's started for Man United. Since he signed for Man United. I can look in an ideal world. He moves Bruno's a number 10. He moves Mainu into the central midfield. But, Ruben Amorim doesn't work like that, does he? It's like he'll move Ahmad into the number 10 and he'll move Bruno back into the midfield. I mean, but we all know what he needs to do, isn't it, at the end of the day? Helge, Sal, be kind to Ineos. We know we are getting Snyder, Bale and Zidane in January. Oh, I forgot about that, Helge. Sorry, brother. Sorry about that, mate. I forgot about we're going to get all those players. Schneider, have you seen him lately? Yeah, man, the man looks a mess. My guy, Marky Mark, thank you so much for the generous super chat, my friend. Really appreciate you every single day, my guy, especially this weekend. What a way to start a weekend. No better way to start a weekend than with the community. And in particular, my guy, Marky Mark, guys. Nice people. Thank you so much, my friend, for supporting the channel. Go straight back in the channel. And thank you very much, my guy. You're an absolute legend, mate. Thank you so much. Of course, guys, look, you know what? Look, anything can happen. Football is very strange. No one knows. No one has the inside knowledge. One thing I do have is rumors, and I do have people who I speak to who are very reliable. The people who told me about Mbuemo, the people who told me about Cunha and Sesko and people like that, and the people who told me that Erik ten Hag would be sacked before he got sacked. And what I would say is that, anything can happen in football, and everything can change in football. Football doesn't deal with absolutes, and, it isn't the same every single day. Football has changed, you know what I mean? And that's what it is, Players want to leave. Personalities change. I want to go now. I want to leave. And that's what could happen, You might be, at the end, like in a few months, you might be happy now. And then in a few months' time, you're like, why am I staying here? You know what I mean? I need to go and stuff. And that's footballer. That's the footballer. That's the selfish nature of the footballer, of course, guys. I was a little bit conflicted in regards to if this was a good time to have an international break. I felt Man United would a little bit of a momentum, considering that we beat Burnley. I know we only beat Burnley, but we should have been 3 or 4-0 up. And I felt that the performance was very good against Burnley. But what I would say is that, Man United, I thought Man United would have been great to play Man City now. But obviously, we got the international break. We're going to have to get bored of our wits today, of course. Hell, Snyder looks like he's eaten Snyder, by the way. Mark him up. Has anyone seen, what's her name? Nelly Furtado. You know what I mean? And Timberland's gone missing. I wonder what happened to Timberland. No offense, guys. No offense. But anyway, guys, yeah, look. Yeah, I remember all the talk about Schneider over the years. I mean, we're going to sign Schneider. De Jong is another one, of course. I remember when Batistuta used to play in the 90s, we were going to go after Batistuta and things like that. I mean, Man United have been linked to so many players over the years. I've lost count of how many players we're gonna sign. I mean, I remember Celio Silva. Do you remember that player, Celio Silva? We were linked to him, a Brazilian defender, guys, and he was another one. Let's go. Glad you safe, Joe. Big up, Marky Mark. Thank you so much. I didn't go far, Marky Mark. I just went up to a few places in the UAE. Basically, I went up to Al Ain and stuff like that. So, by the way, Marky Mark, just to answer your question, sorry, brother. I went up there, done a couple of things, done a couple of media things, and that's about it for Arab TV. And I'm here now. I'm back, of course, but I didn't go too far this time. Not Italy this time, guys. But it's really good to have you on board, guys. Really good to have you on this Saturday morning. It's a blessed Saturday morning. Blessings to the community, of course, guys. And blessings to Manchester United, of course. Because you know what? We got a little bit of a break. Look, it's too long. It is too long. I think this international break is too long. England should have played like Friday and Friday and Sunday, or Friday and Monday, and we should be playing earlier. You know what I mean? But, it is what it is. We have to cope with what we have to cope with. But one thing, the positive is that we can get the likes of Cunha fit. Cunha won't be going to play for Brazil now, which it could be good for him in regards to getting his match fitness stuff and stuff like that, which I think is good. You can take the positives out of everything, but one thing is certain: the Man City game for me, I'm so nervous about that Man City game. I'm so anxious to see how we're going to turn up. Because any Man United can turn up. I'm confident we're going to win the game. Of course, I did put in a 2-1 win for Man United, so I'm confident we can win that game. I'm confident. I actually think we thrive in these games against City. we thrive in these games against Chelsea and Arsenal and these kind of teams. It's actually the other teams that actually causes a problem. We've actually got Brentford in a couple of weeks, I think, and that game is bloody just going to be just as difficult as the City game, if not more difficult, because obviously the way they played against us over the years. But let's see what happens, and let's see what the season brings, what the season brings to us. We hope it is success. Of course, I still believe in success for Manchester United this season. I believe we are going to have something miraculous. Some people may call it miraculous. I won't call it miraculous, but we are going to have something a little bit which some people are not expecting. I really do feel that. Absolutely. Snyder, big up, Helge, not Snyder. Absolutely. Sal, I miss your winger, Ronaldo, Giggs, etc. Nowadays, there are not many really brilliant wingers. Look, there's not many brilliant wingers. And one of the main characteristics about a winger, Ephraim, is that the wingers used to play in a 4-4-2. So we used to have the winger on the right, winger on the left, straightforward stuff. Get the crosses into the box. I actually think that still works, but some people don't think that works, obviously, because Pep Guardiola generation spoiled it, of course, guys. But we used to have one wing on the right, one wing on the left, Beckham on the right, Giggs on the left, and they used to be great wingers. I mean, not anymore. Everyone wants to become a striker. This is the problem with wingers these days. And even in our team, our wingers want to become strikers. Like even though we got Mbeumo, we got Cunha up there, we still got Ahmad cutting in trying to shoot, not crossing the ball, or you still got Dorgu. One thing about Dorgu, though, I would be fair on Dorgu. Dorgu has been quite good for me. He is getting the ball into the box, and it's just been unlucky that he hasn't made the assist yet. Helge, I was fooled in 21, 22, 23, very skeptic in 24, but if anyone believes these beats about January window in 25, it's crazy. You never know what's going to happen, Helge. I'm hearing different. I'm hearing Man United are going to bring in a player. And I wasn't wrong last year either. But what I would say, they did bring in Dorgu last year. Let's not forget. But yeah, look, what I would say is that let's wait and see. Let's play this by ear and let's see what happens. One thing we have to be careful of is differentiate the truth from the fiction, the rubbish from the actual, element of, honesty, because there are a lot of people out there who are talking, who are speaking about the January transfer window. And I actually think it all depends on Ruben Amorim. I think it depends on Ruben Amorim, what he can do, how the season goes. And also injuries. I think injuries will play a big part in what's going to happen this next few months, and we're going to have to wait. Will I rule it out? No, I'm not naive to rule it out. Absolutely not. It'd be naive to rule out anything in football. You never know what's going to happen. We did sign Dorgu this January. Of course we did, and we have signed January, had January signings over the years as well, not least in obviously Bruno Fernandes and obviously other players of that ilk. Of course, we have had players we brought in January. It's not a given that we're not going to sign anyone. It has happened in the past. It's not always the best thing to do. However, it's not the best thing to do, in my opinion. I don't believe in bringing in players at that time of year because I think it's very difficult for those players, especially in our environment, to get them into the team, to bed them into the team. Morning, William. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope you're blessed. And that's what it is. Big up, Stephen. How you doing? I hope you're doing good, Stephen. Good to see you. Yeah, and that's what I would say. It's not always the best choice to bring players in January. The transfer should have been done this summer to get these players bedded into the team. And I did hear that Man United I've heard a lot of things. I've heard Gallagher, obviously. I've heard Hjulmand, of course, Baleba, and all these players that were close to signing for Man United this summer. But it didn't happen. But why didn't it happen? This is what I want to say. Why didn't it happen? And why didn't we get these players? Yesterday, I spoke about Matteo Verratti, of course, the Italian international, who I feel is a very good player. I feel like he would have been great in that Man United squad. I think he would. But that's another one. That's a choice that Man United could do on loan, of course. A very cheap option. Red Fred, Sal, thanks for making my 90 minutes drive home shorter after 12-hour night. Bloody hell, big up my friend. I know how the night shifts are. I know how the 12-hour night shifts are, Red Fred. I worked in a hospital night shifts as well. So I know how you're feeling, brother. They're absolutely strenuous, very, very difficult. I need to get the train home. And it's difficult. Big up Red Fred 55. Big up yourself. And thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. Absolutely. Ephraim. Sal, how Ineos can judge Amorim when they did not back him properly? They can't but judge him, and nobody can judge him. The only thing I could say is that we will criticize where we need to criticize, and we will praise where we need to praise. We can't be overly zealous. We have to look at things realistically. We have to look at things in context. I think one of the most important words in life in general is context. I think you have to look at that word context very, very seriously. Because in everything in life, you have to look at the context of it. You know, whether it be you failed your driving test or whether it be you got in trouble at work and you're going to be disciplined at work. You always have to look at the context around things. And I would say that the context around Ruben Amorim is the fact that he's been backed 50% for me, not 100%. He hasn't been back fully. And why isn't he been back fully? I'll give you the midfielder, the right wing back, maybe an extra defender, because obviously we got Evans and Lindelof who left the football club, a backup striker maybe, squad players. We've got a very thin squad as well. And not least, we left the window late. We left it late, which is most important for me. Absolutely. It's not the hope that kills you. It's so simultaneously, it's very sad living without hope. Sad, I'm going to have hope. Not expect. I mean, what you have, what I like to practice, Helge, I like to practice cautious optimism. Cautious optimism is a thing I use all the time. So I'm optimistic, but I'm cautiously as well. I'm aware that things can happen, especially with Manchester United. And obviously over the last few years, we've been let down a number of times. And the Glazers obviously have let us down for 20 odd years. But what I would say is that in regards to Ruben Amorim, all I care about is that Manchester City game right now, winning that Manchester City game, going on to the Chelsea game and winning that Chelsea game. And then we see where we are, of course, guys. I actually believe Man United can go on a run. I actually believe Man United will get to where we need to go, guys. I really believe that. I believe we're going to do something against City. I believe we're going to do something against Chelsea. However, the Brentford game is the one that I'm a little bit, you know what I mean? Because we have, what's your next 5 games? Well, we've got City, Chelsea, Brentford, Liverpool, and I believe we got Brighton, if I'm not wrong. That's our 5 games. Very difficult, isn't it, my friend? Very difficult. But and we've already played Arsenal. So, you know, it is a very, very difficult start at the end of the day. But why not? It's best to be thrown into the deep end. And you know what? If you're thrown into the deep end, you know what? If you come out swimming at the end and not drown, you'll be, you know what? Confidence will go up, morale gets boosted and stuff like that. Living to Arsenal got a very tough start to the season as well. They got a few games coming up. That's going to be very difficult, guys. But you know, yeah, I mean, the only teams that have had easy start so far is probably Chelsea and teams like that. They've got quite an easy start. I'm weirdly very positive about the 6 months when our backs against the wall. Everyone wants Amorim to foul, etc. I'm behind him. I'm like, let's send him into absolute siege mentality, nothing to lose. Absolutely. Absolutely, it is siege mentality. There is nothing to lose. And, you know, that's how you have to approach things. I mean, this is what I've been saying all week. I've been talking about, you know what, there's no point being doom and gloom. You might as well just try and have a little bit of enthusiasm, trying to be a little bit more, not overly zealous, but just a little bit more enthusiastic and confident in what we're going to do. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't help anyone if we're negative all the time. And I said that, you know, we have what we have. It's happened what has happened, and we can't change anything about it. Of course, when the time comes and it's time to speak up, it's time to protest, then that's when we do that, of course. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So what I would say is that, you know, we have to try and believe. We have to try and hope. It is a hope that kills you. But as I said, cautiously optimistic in regards to what we do. We go and beat Man City, which Tottenham have done, so anyone can do it. We go and beat Manchester City. We go and do something against Chelsea. I think Chelsea would be more difficult, in my opinion. I don't know why. I just feel like that at Old Trafford. I feel like we can go on a little bit of a run and try and climb up that table somewhat a little bit, and we'll be okay. Of course, guys, absolutely. Big up Neil Gunner, by the way. So, do you think Ugarte loses his confidence? I think Ugarte has been hampered, and I'll tell you why, and this is why I'm a little bit concerned about the midfield signing. I think Ugarte has been hampered by Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes in that midfield. I think Bruno Fernandes in that midfield, fair play to Bruno Fernandes. He works incredibly hard. He's all around the pitch doing everything. But at the same time, that is his Achilles heel. That's where he goes wrong, because when Bruno Fernandes is all over the pitch, Ugarte can get outnumbered 3-1 sometimes, 2-1, 3-1 at times. And it's very difficult for a midfielder to maintain control of that midfield when your partner is all over the pitch. If you look at the heat maps, you will see that Bruno Fernandes is all over the pitch. And whether it's Casemiro, whether it is Ugarte, whether it's Baleba, they're always going to have a problem with that. And Bruno won't be dropped. At the end of the day, it won't be. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why I feel like the fact that Cunha and Mount are injured, maybe we can bring Bruno into the number 10 and bring Manu into the midfield. And this is why players lose confidence. And it just takes small spark for you to regain your confidence. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Neil, what's the minimum points you're taking from that run? You know what, Neil? I don't like to predict. I really don't like to predict because those games can go either way, in my opinion. We beat Man City at the Etihad last season 2-1. I actually believe we're going to beat Man City, Neil. I believe that. I believe we'll beat them. We get 3 points from that. I think we're going to draw against Chelsea at Old Trafford. I think we'll draw that game. I think we'll beat Brentford. So you're looking at 3, 4, 5 points at the next 3 games or something. In regards to Brighton, I think if Man United can pick up, if Man United can go undefeated in that run, then I feel like we're all right. The Liverpool game is a difficult one. We drew there last season as well, guys. This is what we're talking about. We drew there 2-2 last season. So, these are the games that surprisingly we get results from. It's not those games I'm worried so much, Neil. It's the games against Brentford and Everton and those sorts of teams, and Newcastle and Tottenham. Those are the teams that we're dropping points against the most, and we'll have to wait and see. Maybe if we go undefeated, it might bring us on confidence and stuff like that. Sesko Lover, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. Amorim is very stubborn. If you can't beat the bottom 6 teams, you won't finish in the top 6. That's true. 3 points for every game. No matter if you play Arsenal or you play Southampton, you still get 3 points at the end of the day. He is very stubborn, but most managers are, Sesko Lover. Most managers are very stubborn. Sir Alex Ferguson was very stubborn. He played his favourites. So I remember a time when Sir Alex Ferguson was the manager, right? And he kept playing Fletcher. He kept playing Fletcher over and over again. And I wasn't a big fan of Fletcher back then. I did grow into Fletcher, obviously, because Fletcher got a lot of experience and he kept playing and playing and playing. And eventually, playing around world-class players, you're going to become world-class eventually. And he did. And I used to have my problems with some of Sir Alex Ferguson's selections, but every manager has that. No matter what manager you bring in, you're going to have those stubbornness because a manager always likes to put his style into the game. Now, I think Ruben Amorim is going to do well. Guys, you can click me on this, whatever you want to do. I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to have a good season. I think we're going to be surprisingly good, and people are going to be surprised at what Man United do this season. Shock away win against City. Then we'll win 3-1 home to Chelsea, 2-0 away to... Come on, mate. One thing we have to remember about Brentford are not the same team, although we got this little bit of PTSD where we've not done well at Brentford, have we? So let's wait and see. But yeah, I would love that, mate. I would love that. That'd be absolutely fantastic, and we'll be absolutely giddy. Can you imagine how we're going to be? Be amazing. William, have a blessed weekend. So you have a blessed weekend, William. Thank you so much for joining. Buzzing for the City game. Peace and love, brother. Big up yourself. Let's wait until the City game. Can't wait for it, mate. We're already buzzing for it, and we've got a week left, haven't we, until the game? So we're already buzzing for it, of course. But yeah, let's hope so, guys. Stephen. I would take 3 wins and 2 draws from them. I would as well, mate. Seeing the way that United are playing at the state of the club. The problem is, Stephen, when you think about what Man United have done over the years, including beating Man City in an FA Cup final, Man United have always done well against these teams. I don't think that is the problem. I don't think the Liverpools, the Man Cities, and the Chelseas of this world are the biggest problem at Man United. I think, as I said, it's the Evertons, the Newcastles, the Tottenhams, the Brentfords. Those are the teams that Man United have problems with. But what the beating these teams shows you, beating the likes of Brentford shows you, beating the likes of Man City shows you, is that they got the ability. If they want to, they've got the ability to do it. You know what I mean? I believe in Ruben Amorim. There's certain players in this team I don't trust. That's just the way I feel. Sorry, guys, but there's certain players in that team I don't trust. I still don't because they've been there for years. They're flattered to deceive. And when I think about the Europa League final against Tottenham, I heard a lot of talk. I heard a lot of we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And, they flattered to deceive and they completely manipulated us and absolutely did nothing against a weakened Tottenham team. So Man United can go to Man City, absolutely dominate Man City in the FA Cup final, but they're also capable of losing to a weakened Tottenham. This is where we go wrong. You can't read Man United. You can read them, but you can't read them at the same time. They're very unpredictable, and that's what I would say. Big up, Stephen. Ephraim. Sal, we are becoming not confident in our team. It's a shame to be like that. This owners make us. And I would tell everyone, Ephraim, whether you believe or not, try and act like you believe. Because at the end of the day, when we're being pessimistic, when we're being negative, and stuff, you know, it only feeds into the energy of the negative energy, and that negative energy is contagious. And that's what I would say. You know, we can't carry on being negative. We might as well just say, right, we're going to win the City game. We're going to win the Chelsea game. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have confidence. We're going to build morale. It's going to be good. And that's how we should be. And I've been like this all week, for the last 2 weeks. Since the window closed, I've been like this. Because, I mean, I had my rant about the window. I gave my feelings about the window. Some people were unhappy about the realism. Sometimes realism doesn't really, you know, it's the sort of people who, you know what, when you tell them the truth, it hurts them. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle, you know, real talk. You know what I mean? And I don't need to put real in my name to be real talking. You know, sometimes I speak real. Right? I do speak real every day, but sometimes I speak real, which hurts people, right? And unfortunately, sometimes the truth hurts, and sometimes you have to give the honest truth about the window. And I did that. But after I did that, I said it. I said that after I've done this, I'm cutting it off. The rant is over. That's what I'm doing. Now we support the football team. Now we support Ruben Amorim. Now we support these players. And let's see what they can do. I've seen positives. I have seen positives. Yes, we lost to Arsenal. We played very well against Arsenal, but we lost, I know. Bad mistake from the goalkeeper. But I've seen positives in the games against Fulham, which we should have won. We had missed the penalty. We gave the ball away for their goal. And we beat Burnley. And apart from the Grimsby game, I would say that, you know, I've been relatively confident in the way Man United have played. And this is something that fills me with a little bit of enthusiasm, cautiously enthusiasm. So I think we can't be too down. Big up, Kenny. How you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We can beat City and Chelsea. Let's keep that confidence going. It's absolutely, guys, Kenny, it is all about that. Have you noticed when you're negative things happen? You always have to try and be positive about what's going to happen. If Man United come out these games against Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, unscathed, not to mention, obviously, Brighton, Brentford, and these teams, if we come out of those games unscathed and undefeated, I think we've got nothing to be. I think we've got nothing but to be positive, because at the end of the day, then we're going to start playing teams which theoretically we should be winning. Which, you know, over the years, I want to see Man United beat Brentford as much as I want to see Man United beat Chelsea. I want to see us beat Arsenal. I want to see us beat Man City. I want to see us beat Liverpool. I want to see us to beat Brentford, Newcastle, Tottenham. I want to see us beat those teams because I haven't seen us beat these teams enough. You know what I mean? I haven't seen us beat. I've seen us lose 4-0, 3-0 to Bournemouth at home and things like that, you know? So I want to see us completely change our mentality in every game we go to. I know these players can turn up against City. I know they're going to turn up against Chelsea. That's without a doubt. That's the thing about this team. They can do that. But when it comes to the games you should be winning, you could lose to Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. Win all the rest of the games, you're still up on the table. You know what I mean? And this is what we're talking about, you know? Helge. I think that is also important to remember. Most likely, Sesko will have a purple patch, absolutely, or Embremo or Cunha, or 2 or 3 of them. That alone would give us wind in our sails. No one should be pessimistic right now. It's no point. As I've always said, there's no point. What does it gain to be negative? It doesn't gain anything right now. There's no transfer window. Nothing can happen. We can't change the ownership right now. So the most important thing for us to do is be positive about the football club and try and think about winning games. Because ultimately, that's what it's all about, guys. This is why I'm happy that the transfer window is closed now. And you see a lot of those content creators who are making a lot of content during the transfer window. They're going awfully silent now, isn't it? Because they don't have nothing else to talk about. However, we love talking about Man United, whether it's the past, whether it's now. We talk about it regardless, guys. So what I would say is that it's important not to be cautiously optimistic. And that's what I always say. And don't get your hopes up to the point where you're heartbroken. But get your hopes up to the point where, you know what, I'm cautiously confident today. I'm looking forward to the game. You know what I mean? Big up, Helge. Neil Gunner, it's hard to get up for them as smaller teams. There's no buzz like the top six. And that's the difference between Arsene Wenger, Alex Ferguson, and obviously the best managers that have ever graced the game, isn't it, Neil Gunner? They can pick themselves up for the Boltons, for the Evertons, for the Southamptons, for the Newcastle. So they can pick themselves. Sorry about losing even Newcastle. Newcastle still a small club in my eyes, but anyway, they can pick themselves up. You know what I mean? And for every single game, because at the end of the day, you beat Newcastle, you beat Arsenal. Let me say, you beat Southampton 1-0. It's the same as beating Liverpool 5-0. Same points at the end of the day. And this is what I'm talking about, you know. And this is where you get the winners from the losers. Winning breeds confidence. It builds morale, you know. And a lot of the problems with Manchester United over the years, Arsenal got it good. Arsenal are doing well. They've got it up here in regards to some of the small teams. they know how to win these games. They know how to negotiate these games. You know, when teams play a low block and you have to negotiate how to break that team down, that is what Man United struggle with. I think we're getting better. I don't think we're there yet. But when, like, for example, when Arsenal went 1-0 up, Arsenal had a rearguard defensive line that we couldn't break down. It is a very good defensive line, considering it took Liverpool a 35-yard screamer to beat it. You know what I mean? But what I would say is that Man United have a problem with this, you know, this low block. And we have to find a way to overcome it. And that's when I talk about wingers. We spoke about wingers earlier. Back in the day, hate to bring it back in the day, but when I was growing up supporting Man United always had wingers. And with the wingers, Man United used to stretch the game a little bit more. They used to stretch the game and they used to create spaces for the people in the middle as well, and obviously the strikers. And when you get the ball into the box, and when you're crossing a quality ball in the box, there's no substitute for that, because at the end of the day, it causes havoc. I was a defender, and one of the worst things I hated was crosses into the box. Low, high, whatever. You know, especially if you've got a big man like Sesko in the box, you know, it is very difficult to defend. When you're ticky-tackying, cutting in, cutting back, cutting in, pass back, cutting in, it's so easy to defend. And I remember this Arsene Wenger having this problem in his latter years. He used to pass around the box. Do you remember? He used to pass around the box a lot, and it didn't used to penetrate the goal. It just used to be... And I think that's what Man United do at the moment. And I think we got to be more route one sometimes. You've got to be more route one sometimes. People make fun of Arsenal about corners. Sometimes this is what wins you games. Man United have won Champions Leagues on corners. Man United won a Champions League on a corner. Man United beat Chelsea with a cross into the box for Ronaldo, header. To get us to penalties. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So that's what I'm talking about. Crosses, especially in Man United's history, have been very, very important. Who will be our next captain? So at the moment, I'm not too sure about Red Fred, but I would say De Ligt at the moment. For me, it's De Ligt because he's always fit at the moment. If not De Ligt, if there is a fit Licha Martinez, I would say Licha Martinez. I think Licha Martinez is a great personality. However, I'm looking at Cunha right now, and I'm thinking that guy is a future captain. And in Bremo, to be fair, that guy is a future captain. I'm telling you, the way he runs that game, the way he runs the channels, the way he fights for the ball and fights for the badge, that's what I love. And Kenny, against the big teams we perform, but against the small teams, that's where we both, manager and the players, mentally will come to play. Yeah, I think that is the manager knows. I think the manager knows, but it's very hard to input this into their head on a habit that Man United have been doing for years. And this is the problem, isn't it? We got a habit of underachieving in regards to the small teams and not beating the small teams. And not only not beating the small teams, losing to the small teams, like i.e. Bournemouth and teams like that. Do you know what I mean? And these are the teams we should put into the sword. We shouldn't be worried about that. I remember back in the day, these teams like Bournemouth and Southampton and teams like that used to come to Old Trafford. They already lost the game before they go and walked onto the pitch. Yes, we have a part to play. Old Trafford has a part to play. I do believe that Old Trafford is not as intimidating as it used to be. It needs to be more intimidating. I think it's more of a commercial playground at the moment, more like walking into a circus, excuse the pun, with the new stadium and that. It's more like to do that, more like a joyful experience. The last time I went to Old Trafford, it was like a tourist destination, like you're walking into Madame Tussauds, or you're walking into a museum. That is what it was like at Old Trafford, and it didn't used to be like that. When Old Trafford is buzzing, when Old Trafford is rocking, Old Trafford is rocking, guys. Old Trafford is crazy. I remember going to the Man United 7-1 against Roma. I was at that game, and never seen an atmosphere like it at Old Trafford in years. It was an absolute cauldron of noise. Partly because of Roma. Roma wind up the Man United fans before the game and after the game and in Rome and stuff like that. And Roma gave up. Roma couldn't handle the atmosphere. Obviously, we had great players like Carrick. We had Alan Smith. We had Ronaldo. We had these players, of course, were very good players, but the crowd were really up for it. And you can tell that Roma will succumb to the pressure of the crowd, the play on the pitch and everything. You need to put pressure on. And that's what we don't do. Back in the day, we used to relentlessly attack these teams. When we played Newcastle once, and we were 3-1 down with 10 minutes to go at Old Trafford, and we won 4-3. And this is what Man United used to do. Hit him. Relentless attacks, and that's something we don't do at the moment. Every manager has favourites, nothing new in football. Every manager has favourites, and that's nothing new in football. And if you managed a club, Neil, if I managed a club, we're going to have our favourites. That's just life. At the end of the day, look, we talk about the Portuguese thing in regards to Dalot and Bruno Fernandes. that does play a role. And I know it's wrong. I know it shouldn't happen. I know favoritism shouldn't happen. But in any working environment that you go to, if you're getting on with the manager, you're always going to have preferable treatment. No matter if they try to be equal with everyone, they're always going to like you that little bit more. When there's a little bit of overtime, they'll call you for that overtime if you want that. You know what I mean? On a bank holiday or something like that, they'll call you. Favoritism happens in every walk of life. That's just life. You know what I mean? I'm going to have favoritism towards the people I love. I'm going to have favoritism towards people I like. That's the way life is at the end of the day. And that's no different in regards to managers. Managers are the same. They have their favorites. Sir Alex Ferguson had his favorites. Oh, yeah, he had his favorites, guys. Trust me, he had his favorites. Cantona could kick a fan in your head, right? And he would blame someone else. You know what I mean? He won't blame Cantona. He'll blame someone else. And this is what we're talking about, isn't it? But also, it is about man management. It's also about man management and how you can manage different characters and manage different personalities, of course. Stephen, anything can happen with these United players. They could win the next game or lose badly. You never know with these guys. I mean, Man United could lose 6-3 like we did a few years ago against Man City, or we can win 2-1 like we did last year against Man City. Yeah, exactly right, Stephen. And this is 100% the truth, because this is where we're worried about Man United. But we hope we turned a corner a little bit. And this is what we always hope, that we turn this corner, that we're going to play well. Not anyone can lose to Man City away. Look, even Real Madrid can lose to Man City away, right? It can happen. I actually feel that Man City are not in a good way. I actually feel like they're not as good as they were. So I actually believe that we got a chance, guys. And in any game, you got a chance. In every game, you got a chance, of course. But I actually feel like we have got a chance, of course. So let's wait and see. Guys, let's wait and see. Red Fred, if we had our new signings for the final against Spurs, we would have been playing in Champions League this season. Yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't do that. Obviously, the window was closed, Red Fred 55. But yeah, if we had the players that we have now, we probably would have beaten Spurs. Yeah, I would think that. I would think that with Mbeumo and Cunha and Sesko up front, I'm looking at a win for Man United, definitely. Man United with Rasmus and all the players that played in that game just were very toothless. We dominated the game. Tottenham scored and we dominated the game. We just couldn't penetrate the goal. We couldn't score a goal. And story of our season. And I said it last January a year ago when I spoke about the final of the Europa League. I predicted it. I said Man United will play Tottenham in the Europa League final and lose 1-0. Tottenham will score early and we won't be able to score. And that is my biggest problem, right? Now, this is why back in January, we were talking about we needed a striker. A lot of talk about Tell. Tell's been left at the Tottenham squad for the Champions League, by the way. Very telling, that one. Telling. There you go. But what I would say is that, look, Man United, regardless, needed firepower up front, you know, and I said that back then, that we're going to get to Tottenham, we're going to reach the final, and then we're going to concede a goal. It's going to be 1-0, and then, you know, we're going to lose, absolutely, because we can't score. Helge, I'm exactly the same. You remember how was at the end of the window? As soon as it closed, I reset my brain. Now we have to deal with the situation as it is. I mean, look, as I've always said, there's no point crying over spilt milk. As I've always said, there's no point crying over it. There's no point moaning about it and groaning and this and that, because at the end of the day, we have what we have. And the most important thing for me is winning that Manchester City game and supporting Ruben Amorim in this season. And that is what we're going to do, Helge, as we did last season, didn't we? We didn't stop supporting him, even though it was very bad at times. We didn't stop supporting him. And we were here doing the watch-alongs. We've done every single watch-along of the season. And, you know, we were hurt a lot of times, guys. We were embarrassed a lot of times, but we're still here supporting the football club, absolutely, guys. But I think it's going to be a good season this season. Stephen, I would take a draw versus City and Chelsea because I think United aren't that level yet. Then move on to just like, I mean, I don't know, Stephen, because we beat Man City last year, didn't we? Didn't we beat Man City last year? At the Etihad, of course, with a weakened squad, I feel. Of course, we did have Varane in there. And I don't think Varane played, but we did have a couple of players in there. But Man United have got a better squad right now. I believe we've got more better attacking players this season. So you never know. We've done it before. Big up, Miles. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Sport of life, peace and sound. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you as you on this Saturday morning. Of course, thank you everyone who absolutely. I hope Lamans and start and the Manchester Lamans and Sesko start. I get you, my friend. I hope so as well. I think we need to start building a little bit of chemistry between Sesko and the front line, of course. I hope that Lamens plays as well. I mean, I don't think there's any point in resting him. I don't think there's any point in waiting because I believe he's good enough. I've made my point. I made my stance very clear on Lamens. I think he's a very good goalkeeper and our best goalkeeper at the club right now. And he should play. And I think there's no better game than to put him into the City derby. Because if he has a good game, that's gonna set him up for the rest of his career at Manchester United. Hopefully a very long, prosperous career at Man United. And that's what I'm talking about. We need to play Lamens. We need to play Sesko. We need to take the incentive to them because, look, they're in a bad way. Let's talk about Pep Guardiola being sacked, at the end of it. Madness. Crazy, isn't it? Daryl, more direct, Sal. Absolutely. Sesko, I hope Lamens and Sesko got you, my brother. Got you. Big up, Sesko lover. Mbeumo played class for Cameroon the other night. His crosses. This is what I like, Daryl. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm deprived of something because I get very excited and very happy when I see a decent cross into the ball because Man United have been deprived of crosses into the ball in recent years. And it's something that we pride ourselves on, which is crosses into the box, especially under Alex Ferguson. The amount of goals. All right, guys, look at the Champions League run in 99. Look at the Champions League in 99. Look how many crossed goals there was. How many? Did you see the Inter Milan goal? 2 Inter Milan goals, 2 crosses. Did you see the Juventus goals? Roy Keane, Dwight York, crosses. And this is what we're talking about. If you look at that whole season, the Champions League final, 2 crosses. And that's what we're talking about. The whole season, Man United had crosses into the box. And there is no substitute for a decent cross into the box. It causes havoc, Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, I can get that one up. Sal, what is the problem with defending set pieces? It's the set piece coach, and it's the way Man United play. Look, I've never been a fan of zonal marking. I've never been a fan of that. I've always believed that you mark your man, and that's what you should do. Man United play a mixture of zonal and man marking, and sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. That is down to the set piece coaches. I do believe we have a problem with the set piece coach. I do. I do, however, believe that we bought the set piece coach from Arsenal. I'm not sure, but no, I think that was a physio. But anyway. The set pieces need to be better. We do concede a lot of crosses. Every time a cross comes into the box, Man United have a problem with the crosses, and we need to counter that better. Because every single time they cross, it looks like it's going to be a goal, and I get nervous. Thank God we've got a new goalkeeper in there who can maybe dominate the game a little bit more. Daryl, what do you think of Levi stepping down from Spurs? Heard Qatari are interested. If Qatar get hold of Tottenham, then there's another challenger for us that we're going to have to overcome. If Qatar get hold of Tottenham, you're going to see what happens to Tottenham, guys. You won't see any more loser Tottenham. You will see more trophies for Tottenham. Obviously, Daniel Levi has been there 25 years, a long time at the club. Obviously, he weren't very liked at Tottenham. But look, he left. That gives me a little bit hope that the Glazers may one day leave. The Glazers might one day leave the football club. That would be great, won't it? I'll be actually celebrating, guys. I would do an all-day stream if the Glazers leave this football club. I honestly would. I'll do an all-day stream, and I'll be going ins and outs of the Glazers and their tenure at Man United and stuff like that. I would love that. Tottenham have got their wish. If the Qatar get hold of Tottenham, we better hope. We better wish even more. Sal, why some of these stadiums in England are not like Anfield, very loud atmosphere? Because of the commercial side of things. Football's become too commercial. Football's become too, like touristy, too many tourists and stuff like that. And it's become too like as I said earlier in the show, like a museum. People too interested in taking pictures rather than singing and all that. This is why we needed like stands instead of seats and stuff like that and everything. I'm lucky to have been to grounds and been to atmosphere. Our away support is fantastic, by the way. I think our away support is the best in the world. But in regards to Old Trafford, I think that it needs to be more intimidating, and that's up to us as well. But I do believe that they're taking away the sting out of the game, and that is something that we need to recoup, of course. 10 more for 50. Thank you so much, Neil Gunnar. Guys, 10 more for 50. Let's get to 50 is the minimum in every show, guys. Absolutely. Jaffa, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. We as fans need to be patient until our manager gets his full team. Absolutely. And let me just read that in case it goes out there. And we start to click consistently. New age fans need to be patient with the manager. I know it's been 12 years, but they need to trust the process. A lot of these new age fans are born after 2000. No offense. They don't really understand patience. They don't really understand it, guys. Look, it's a bit like life in general. If you're under 30 right now, you don't really understand what we were, and you don't really understand about how talent has regressed, and in regards to everything. If I was a young lad right now, I find it very easy. Like if I was 19, 20 years old, it'd be easy, piece of piss. It would be, right? At the end of the day, us lads a little bit on the other side, we of course are we're much more, I wouldn't say hardworking, but we are, and we're much more creative, in my opinion. But guys, the lack of patience, the what do I say? The I want it now syndrome. Because guys, let me tell you something about I want it now syndrome. Back in the day, if you were lost, you were lost. You ain't got a phone to make you go home. We're more brain savvy, right? 100%. And I feel like nowadays people can get anything at a click of a thumb. Back then, we couldn't get anything at a click of a thumb. We couldn't. And that's the difference between now and then. And this is also ultimately created a non-patient environment where people want things now and they don't want to be patient. They want to sack the manager now, get out of my club syndrome. Do you know what I mean? And that's what happens. Like, we didn't do that. If it wasn't for people like me and other people in my generation and other generations before me, back in Sir Alex Ferguson, we would not have had the success that we had, and most of us wouldn't be here supporting this football club. You know what I mean? Because obviously a lot of people supported the football club because we were successful, of course, guys, which I didn't. I was late 80s. But, and that's what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Daryl, mate, I'll party if Glazers walk, brother. It's needed for the guy. I will do an all-day stream for the competitions, the lot. It will be an absolute... It'll be fun. It will be fun. Trust me. We'll be celebrating all day. I'm sure Stephen Maguire will be celebrating. Absolutely. I think the midfield will be cost us this season. They need to get that sorted, or the top 4, 16. I mean, you know, after the transfer window closed, Stephen, I made a show about how I feel about the window, and I was very passionate about it. It upset a lot of people, Stephen. And unfortunately, I'm not here to make a lot of people I'm not here to persuade people, or I'm not here to make people unhappy. But unfortunately, sometimes when you're speaking the truth, it does make people unhappy, because they've obviously been called out, because obviously they believe in something, and that's what it is. I did say that I hope later on this season, Man United, we're not turning around to each other saying, well, if we fix the midfield, that wouldn't have happened. If we fixed the midfield, we wouldn't worry about that injury and things like that. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I'm talking about, you know, and I think about what is good for Manchester United, not what is good for my ego. Unfortunately, there's people, right? One on the right, one on the left, right? That I believe in Ineos and they're everything, then they can't do nothing wrong. I make excuses for them. And then there's them people there, I hate Ineos, they're crap, they're this, that. I'm in the middle, right? I hoped for a full sale. I felt it's better for Man United. I think that Man United without depth are an absolute machine, an animal. Unfortunately, we got Jim Ratcliffe, and I'm not there. But I will call them out for the mistakes that they made, and I'll praise them for the mistakes that they do. However, I do not trust someone who sleeps with the enemy, and that will always be the case with me. You know, I will not just blindly support them because I supported them from the beginning, like some people do. You know, ultimately, where I'm seeing people doing a 7.5 out of 10 window. Guys, you got a half that, right? And that shows you where they are in their head. And there's some big platforms, guys, talking about it. Some respected folk talking about, oh, you know, feel sorry, they can't do everything in this window and stuff like that. And, you know, I look at them and I think, mate, you're just trying to reserve your VIP seat for the press conferences and things like that. That's all you're doing. And this is what I would say, you know, but I care about the football club most of all. That's all I care about. And I will call things out as they are. And unfortunately, we didn't get everything we want. But now, Stephen, what can we do? You know? Fergatov, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Sal, would you take Matt Muniz from Crystal Palace? Absolutely would, in January if possible. I think he would be a great job. Absolutely brilliant player. And Ferguson, what I would say about Muniz, right? He had a great game against Man City in the FA Cup final, as we know. What a great cross. I think there was a goal disallowed as well. You know, with Muniz, this is what I'm talking about Man United. Like, we get compared to Crystal Palace and Brighton because obviously they're scouting, and we're like, oh, how comes they can scout players and we can't scout players? How comes they find these gems and we can't find these gems, etc., etc.? But when we see them playing for Crystal Palace, we're like, oh, we need that player. You know, we want that player. He's good. Where did they get him from? Why didn't we sign him? You know, this is exactly the same with Lamens when he came to Man United. I'll say, yeah, but if Brighton signed Lamens, you'd be like, oh, why didn't we sign Lamens? And this is the thing. It's exactly when Brighton signed Baleba. Muniz is a great player. Right wing back would be absolutely brilliant for Man United. I think that's the type of characters that we need. I do believe that he's the type of character. I mean, that South American grit. Do you know what I mean? I like that. It's just like I like Lito Martinez. I don't think you can find that personality. It's such a good personality. Cunha, you can see right from the day that Cunha signed for Man United, he had the right personality. He had the right head screwed on. Do you know what I mean? Helge, I see we've seen it just how I wanted to bring it into the show. The start about the Ligt winning the most headers in the whole league alongside Van der. I just love the Ligt. He's almost. I mean, I can't believe people are writing him off, calling him slow in that, Helge. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely choked to my coffee when I heard that. Greetings, Jaffa. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you again. Hope you're having a good weekend, Jaffa Ali. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome back, my guy. Helge. At the moment, a silence of those waking up and going to bed every night, just angry every day about Amorim still being here, hoping that we lose games so that he'll go. What a sad reality. Unfortunately, Helge, this is what it is. And I'm sorry, Helge, it's more your generation, isn't it, mate? What I would say is that they don't have the patience. They don't. They want to be right. They want to be proven right. That's all they want. I just want to be right. I don't care if it's good for Man United. I just want to be right. And it's that culture that we have these days, you know, which is wrong. Hoping your team fails, so you're like, I told you so. I have people, Helge, coming at me about Erik ten Hag being sacked for Leverkusen. You know, I've had people coming at me about that, and you know, it's crazy. You know, at the end of the day, whatever happened with Erik ten Hag, the overriding thing that I'll say about Erik ten Hag is that you can't expect him to be successful after 2 games, and especially if he's lost 90% of his squad. Right, so that's what I would say. Whatever happened behind the scenes, whatever happened behind the scenes. But I still have people coming at me. Oh, what did you say about Ten Hag? What did you say? It's ridiculous. And this is what we get into. We get into the "I told you so" sort of mentality that is in our fan base at the moment. And I wouldn't even call them fans, to be honest with you. We've got a lot of faceless accounts out there with big numbers, faceless accounts with big numbers. You know, people you don't know who they are. Amorim era, all these people. No big respect to them, but they're faceless accounts who thrive off clicks and likes, and I know that for a fact, right? And money, right? So at the end of the day, we got a lot of them people around, and we got a circus of people who are just there for the clickable. What is it? It's like a share, isn't it? It's like when your shares go up. It's like that. They want it always there, and they want it always sensationalist, dramatic, opinionated, loud, viral, and that's what people are looking at these days. They're not looking at common sense, patience, long-term plan, success. You know, he's done this, he's done that, context, he's done this, done that. They're not looking at that. They're just looking at, you know what? Oh, we need to keep it there. We need to keep, winning. Ruben Amorim winning. That's not going to get clicks and likes. That's against my opinion too. So what am I going to do about that? Oh, but you have to say this, bruv, the way we play like this, bruv, the way we done this and that's what they do. It drives me mad, of course. Patience is a virtue, very underrated, Neil, trust me. In every walk of life. Cheers, Sal. Big up, Tyro. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Saw the launch of the new Morocco Stadium yesterday. It's beautiful, isn't it, Tyro? I loved it. Better than ours, which will be host to the World Cup. It's built under 2 years, and Ineos and Glazers. There you go, Tyro. There you go, bruv. There you go, mate. This stadium is Man United Stadium is a Chat GTP design stadium that is not going to happen in the next 10 years. I feel like that. And this was a ploy to shut the Man United fans up. Trust me. It's going to happen, but it may take longer than even 10 years. They want that regeneration project. Ineos want that regeneration project. The Glazers want that regeneration project because ultimately it's going to make them billions. And that's all they care about. You know, the dragging out the stadium is just a ploy to keep them at the football club. And that's it at the end of the day for long as possible. You know, 2 years it took them, absolutely, Morocco, and it is a better looking stadium in my opinion than the thing that we designed. It is a thing. I can design a better one. I'm an artist. I can design a better stadium than that, which represents Manchester United. I probably could fix Old Trafford, but anyway. But what it is that you know. What I would say though about Old Trafford, guys. So can I just bring this into the show? What I'd say about Old Trafford, the reason they didn't regenerate Old Trafford, they could regenerate Old Trafford. All this news about the railway and that, they could do that. They could fix that up. That's a lie, right? The reason they didn't want to revamp Old Trafford is because they can't rubber stamp their name over Old Trafford. They can't put their name on Old Trafford. A bit like the Nou Camp and the Burnabout. Obviously, there's Spotify Nou Camp, but it's still the Nou Camp and the Burnabout. It's the same, isn't it? They know that if they regenerated Old Trafford, they know that they can't put Sir Jim Ratcliffe Stadium on it. They can't put the Ineos Stadium on it. They know that. They know they can't get buy-in rights for the stadium. They know that because it's Old Trafford. This is what our stadium is. And that's one of my theories about why they wanted to move away from Old Trafford. They wanted to build a completely new commercial playground that is primarily based around commercialism and selling a product. Basically, hotels, franchises, concerts and things like that's what they want. Ultimately, that's what they want, and around Old Trafford, around that area, you can't really do it. It's a very industrial area, and you can't really do that. So this is why I don't trust them, and I won't trust them. I think it'd be very, very foolish to just blindly trust something, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, I want to big up Derek, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Could see on times Africa for 113 for me. Someone times West Africa 13 flash 1300. I've got the time of England on my one, I believe. Big up. Well, so good to be back and catch up with you. The news. Have a great day. Have a great day, Helge. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Big up everyone, guys. Big up everyone in the stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Please don't forget to put your notifications on. We'll be back later on for Chatterbox this time, guys. We'll be back later on for Chatterbox. And also, please don't forget to smash a like, guys. You need to get to that 50 likes. That 50 likes is what it's all about, guys. Let's get to 50 likes, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. You're all absolute legends, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Glory, glory, Man United. Keep the faith. And we will see you later for Chatterbox. Take it easy, guys. Peace.